Now let's talk about the correlational analysis. Back to our scatter diagram. If we look at the data point, how it deviates from the regression line, we can calculate the standard error. The standard error shows how much the data points are scattered from the regression line. If the data points deviate from the regression line, the standard error tends to increase, and the relationship tends to become weaker. In contrast, if the data points tend to cluster closely around the regression line, the standard error tends to decrease because the data scattering decreases, while the strength of relationship increase. The relationship between the two variables gets stronger. Using the function data analysis, regression analysis of Excel, we can easily find out the coefficient of determination, R squared. The value of R squared is between 0 and plus 1. It shows how much percent of the variation of dependent variable is because of the variation of the independent variable. In the current case, 0.82413 indicates 82.41% of the variation of dependent variable is because of the variation of the independent variable. The coefficient of correlation, R, comes from the square root of R squared. But don't forget that you need to put the negative or positive sign in front of the value. And this is decided by the B, your slope. In the current case, R squared is 0.82 and R is 0.91. Because the B slope is positive, so the R is positive. This indicates it's a positive relationship. To determine the strength of the relationship, we need to look into the absolute value of R. If the absolute value of R is smaller than 0.3, it's a weak relationship. If it's higher than 0.7, this is a strong relationship. And if it's in between of these two numbers, it is a moderate relationship. Let's look at an example of your EBS project to explore the relationship between the perception of product price and the purchase intention. If we use the current Excel output, we may interpret like this. 82.41% of the variation of the purchase intention is because of the variation of the perception of product price, while 17.59% of the variation is explained by other factors. And looking into the R, which is plus 0.91, it shows the purchase intention is positively and strongly related with the perception of the price. Relational analysis is one of the most important techniques for business research. You need to do more practice.